A couple of weeks ago, I got an assignment for my geospatial technology class where we were to go around campus with our phones and record data points for something of our choosing. The assignment was to record 10 data points, and I ended up recording 40 because I chose to map hammock spots across campus. Being the Eagle Scout that I am, I've hammocked across campus several times, so I already knew plenty of these spots. The only issue with recording that is that the assignment corresponded with the coldest week we have had here in Boone so far. It felt like -7 the first day that I started doing it, and it got a bit better. It got into the 30s, and it was completely snowing pretty much the whole time. So I 100% picked the worst day to do this cinematically. I mean, there's a mountain. It goes like that. But yeah, this is the main spot, usually. Garden right there. We're basically put my hammock here. So for the actual points, I'm gonna stand kind of in the middle between the two trees. I'll stand like right here, and then I'll mark every point. But this one, I would say this one is probably the best spot, the best view. You have a lot of downtown Boone right there. This is the music building. That's the gym for the students, and then that's the main mountain overlooking Boone. This is probably my favorite campus hammocking spot, so that's why we're starting with this one. So here's a screen recording of a Venza map that I took during this. So you can see I can place a point here. It'll just say place mark 1 until I actually give it a title. And then when I swipe up, you can actually see it shows you a bunch of location data like GPS and where you are in coordinates. And then I swipe up and I have these attributes. So I'm going to select mountains for the scenery and then light for the busyness on this one. Okay, so it happens to be really, really freaking cold, but we have the UREC building. We have probably about 10 trees right here, and then we have this back area. Once I hike up there, I'll show you what it looks like. It's very, very isolated. Okay, so we're really in the woods now. Ignore the road, that's right there. But there's a lot of hammock spots in these woods. I still want to walk up that mountain before the sunlight goes away for today. So I'll set myself a limit of 10 in this area, and I'll record 10 points total just for this area. Although you can look around. This is easily like 50 places you can place a hammock. Okay, so that's the woods complete. I tried to mark the outsides of the woods so you can kind of get a sense of how big it looks on the map. I'm gonna put an image of the screenshot of my map, and now I'm on the outside. So I'm basically just gonna walk that way. And so how App State works is you have the gym here, and then you have like 3 dorms and the chancellor's house that are up that way. I'm basically just gonna walk until the sun goes down, and then I'm gonna come back. Okay, so 2 things. 1, I found this spot that I actually haven't been to yet. There's the very back of UREC. There's Mountaineer Village or Appalachian Heights. It's one of those. And it's actually a really nice big area, but that road's closed up there because they're doing construction. So I think I'm gonna go up behind the LLC and then walk up the stairs in the woods, and that might hopefully work. Okay, here's spot 17. That's the back of the LLC right there, and that is the stadium parking lot. You know, I totally forgot something. Up this little hill here, you just gotta climb it. There is a lot of space up there, and there is something cool up there. So I have no idea who built this, and it's probably been here for a long time, and the ropes look a little torn up. But it's up deep here in the woods. The power plant is right there. There's the top of it. As I was taking my mid-hike break in this rope nest, I realized that I should definitely go up all the way to the baseball fields and see if there's any hammock spots up there. They are definitely very intrigued by me right now. Is that 4? I've never seen 4 at once. That's actually kind of a record. Okay, so ignoring the deer, we made it past the construction. That's farther that way down the road. This is Appalachian Heights. This spot actually is really cool. It's right outside of that building, and it's a nice flat land. I'm gonna record 2 points, 1 right here, and then 1 probably over there. Okay, so this is the chancellor's house, or the Appalachian house. I'm gonna record a spot right here, although I would never actually hammock right outside of the chancellor's house. Well, I have certainly made it to a unique spot. We have this sign, never Never heard of this place. There's a windmill and there's another windmill, but right there they're building some like big nature preserve campus up here on top of the mountain. That's what I thought this was, but this is not that. This is just a bunch of random stuff and trees where you can hammock. Okay, so we made it to the rock. There's not a lot of hammock spots here unless you want to hammock between the light posts, but there are spots up there by the Quinn Recreation Center, so that's where we're gonna go. Okay, now this one might be the best view. Here is Kid Brewer Stadium, where the Appalachian State Mountaineers play football. Found 2 trees. I know that road up there is public. This place is blocked off, but I'm very sure this is still publicly walkable because the fence is right there. I'm not in the stadium at all. So as for the numbers on these points, I had a list, basically just I went from 1 all the way to like 47. It makes more sense for the actual project than in this video, but the numbers are just the number in order that I did it. And then the name is just where it is on the map. So this one is behind Kid Brewer Stadium. You know, I almost forgot about this place. This is a bunch of hammock poles, and this is the courtyard between the 3 dorms. That's Laurel Creek, that is Thunder Hill, and that is Raven Rocks right there. When I returned from my hours-long hiatus of hiking in the woods and finding all these coordinate points, I thought to myself about the biggest challenges that I would face in the next day. The main one is that it would get really, really cold, and I would have to find a way to do this without freezing my fingers off. So this is the day that I mentioned at the start of the video. It felt like -7 to -10 degrees consistently throughout the day. It snowed way more than anyone thought it would. Oh yeah, we still had class. So in between doing this video, I was going to my 2 classes that I had on that day. Here's a view of Sanford Mall. You can see there's literally no one there, but we still had in-person class for some reason. Here's a video of me walking in front of the dining hall. You can see that there's literally no one around. You can see the wind blowing all the snow around. It got a lot more chaotic throughout the day as the sun would pick the wind up even more. Okay, so it's the other day, really freaking cold. We have 3 trees here. I'm just gonna record a spot in the middle, and then we got those trees over there, and then we have 2 trees all the way over there. So I'm gonna get 3 spots on Sanford Mall, 1 here, 1 there. Even, you know, you could put 3 hammocks here, but 1 spot I'll do. Okay, so it's a bit windy. I have my mask on, but it feels like -6 degrees or something. But I'm over at another hammock spot. I got out of class. I'm behind the library right now. I'm gonna flip the camera. Here's the spot. It's basically little trees. It's right next to the library. It's outside. It's actually really nice when the sun is out. But yeah, I'm gonna record this and then go inside and get some food. Okay, I'm now behind the library. There's the front, or the entrance to the north. Bus depot's over there, circle. There's a spot over there. I'm gonna record that. It's actually not that windy in this courtyard. It's really windy, the wide open stretch that you just saw, but I'm gonna go record this. And this is gonna be spot number either 32 or 33. Okay, so the next spot is gonna be right next to Rankin Science. We got some trees here. I've actually hammocked here a lot. Okay, it has not gotten colder throughout the day. It is currently like 3 p.m. later in the day. Still just as warm as earlier. Every time I've been getting a point, I've been pressing record and then going inside and typing it out with my bare fingers inside somewhere. There's nowhere inside near me, so I might be a bit cooked right now. Okay, so it kind of is occurring to me that I should have brought my hand warmers, because we got a couple more spots outside. I walked all the way to the Schaefer Center, the theater building, just to do things, but the other spots are like way over there. I'm not gonna be able to walk inside, so I think I'm just gonna record them and then suck it up for a bit and then just have cold fingers. Okay, so this is the yard. That's the Roy Hill Music Building. It's a really interesting shaped building. All these trees here, there's actually only really 1 spot that you can put your hammock in. This is also going to be spot 40, so that's a nice marker. Okay, so I'm in Jimmy Smith Park across from Walker Hall. There's a hammock spot over there. But before I get to that, figured I'd show you the sign. So this was the last flood before Hurricane Helene that destroyed the old railroad that used to come here. Oh, it's a beautiful day today, huh? It got a bit warmer. It's like in the 20s. This is the administration building. You have, you know, this flags and stuff, but there's a hammock spot right here, so I'm gonna record this. Go into that park down there because there's a lot of spots. Okay, we got this beautiful stream right here, flows along in the snow. We have 2 trees right here. This is gonna be spot 43. This is the beautiful Durham Park at the front of campus. So one of the interesting things about this park is that even though the trees, there's a lot of them, none of them are really close enough to actually put a hammock. So I really only have that like 1 point and maybe 1 or 2 more. But it's interesting because this park is massive, but really not a lot of trees. And that's kind of the nice part about it. And where I'm standing right now was easily like 3, 4, 5 feet underwater during the hurricane. So again, it's really, really cool to just see it not completely underwater. Okay, so here is going to be spot 44. And for reference, what I just said, that bridge right there maybe had 1 foot above the water during the hurricane. It was drastic. And I remember me and the friends from our dorm building, we were walking across that. We saw a car door just by itself flow down the rapids. So that kind of was a crazy sight. And with that, I have mapped pretty much every spot that I could think of or that I could find within 3 days on campus. So the next thing was to wait for a week and then go to my lab class where I would actually make the versions of the maps. In my class lab, a week later, we actually created the official like physical maps, and then I went to the library, printed them out, and laminated. So I have 3 of them right here. What we did was we basically just took the data points and then put them over an image. The hardest part of actually creating these maps was just putting all of the like formatting with the titles and the locations and the like distances. And I'm going to put images of the actual maps up on screen. So the first one we have here is going to be scenery. So the scenery, you can tell it's going to be categorized into buildings, mountains, open land, and then woods. It's basically just whatever you see the most. You're going to see all of these at the same time for each of these. But I chose mountains to be blue because you can see the sky with the mountains, buildings to be brown because all the buildings here are brick, and then the open land to be lighter green and the woods to be a darker green. And you can tell kind of where the mountains views are usually higher up and they're to the west side of this map. And then the open land is basically all in like the park areas, the public areas for all the students. The next map is going to be the busyness, not business, busyness. Should have chosen a better word to describe it, but it works. We basically have isolated, which is you're like in the middle of the woods and there's no one around. Light, which is, you know, people will walk around you, but it's not like a lot. And then you have moderate to heavy, which is basically just anywhere on campus that has people. So most of these spots are like this because, you know, it makes sense. You're going to hammock in the middle of a public park in the middle of campus. Everyone's going to be around you. When I actually recorded all the videos, none of the spots had any people because it was so cold that no one was outside. And I remember my professor asked me about that, and I said, no, I'm judging it based off how normally busy it is, not how busy it was on the day that I did the map, because no one was around. And then the last map is going to be based on elevation. So I don't really have a proper measurement for elevation because mine was messed up, but the differences in elevation remain the same, even if the actual total measurement, it was weird for me. And you can tell that like the bottom area, it's going to be more blue. That's like near the parks at the center of campus. And then all the way up near the baseball fields in the bottom left corner, those are going to be the highest points. And the color scale at the bottom of the map doesn't match the distance scale. It's not like 0 to 1,000 feet. Although it really does feel like that you're climbing 1,000 feet when you go up to the baseball fields. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. It's a completely fun class project that I just completely unnecessarily turned into a YouTube video because why not? Feel free to use these maps. Just screenshot them off this video. If you are at App State or you come here and you just want to hammock and you want a guide. And I definitely missed some spots, but you got to give me some slack. It was really, really, really freaking cold. If it wasn't, you know, constantly snowing the whole time, I probably would have gotten everything. But I did a lot. And yeah, I mean, we're going to leave it at that. Hope you have a great day.